I'm taking the train down to San Diego tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. to go to opening day for the Padres.
Oh.
And then after that, Maryland and Florida play each other. So we'll go to Andrew's neck of the woods, Pacific Beach, to go watch that game. And then I think we've got Temecula Friday through Sunday with some other friends. So it's and then
Busy.
Maryland's women basketball is on Friday, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Yeah, but you are coming all the way down to San Diego for opening day, and I'm not going. So sorry about
Crazy. It's crazy work. I can't believe I'm finally going to a Padres game and you are not attending.
that.
Biggest Padres fan, Andrew.
I was gonna say, are you a
No,
Padres
I
fan
ju-
now?
The only reason I didn't was because of work, which is a stupid reason to
Hill.
not go to opening
Bad
day.
reason. It's a bad reason, dude.
Yeah, tomorrow's not the best, but whatever.
It's okay. It's that's why I'm going to be working on the train. 6 a.m. to 8:50. I'll be grinding away at work, and then I'll also be doing some work on your couch. It's going to be good times. You guys want to do some drafting?
Always.
Love
Hell
to.
yeah! All right,
For
we're
the
going to be
war?
continuing. Last week we did our fictional teams draft, and we really enjoyed the number of fictional teams that were available to us. So we asked ourselves, what should we do? Should we put this off? Should we get more people involved? Should we wait another year to do this again? No, we're doing it immediately. The following week, we're doing fictional teams once again. Whether you want to call this a continuation of the previous draft, rounds 6 through 10, you can. If you want to call it fresh rounds 1 through 5, you can. We're going to change up the order. We're going to reverse the order that we had last week. Last week, it was me, then Tom, then Andrew, then Modai. This week, like I said, it's going to be reversed. It's going to be Modai, Andrew, Tom, and then myself. So I'm going to be on the hot corner. Let's run through really quickly all of the picks that happened last week so that we make sure that we don't do all these. Tom, you want to handle this or you want me to take care of this?
I was gonna say, should we go one by
yeah.
one so that way we know whose team is on who? You know what I mean?
That's fine.
I mean,
I'm good with whatever. I will probably mess up. I don't have this ordered. I'll tell you that.
The order
On
doesn't matter.
On
Yeah,
my thing, I don't have this ordered.
yeah. Order doesn't matter. It's just who has what.
All right, Modai, why don't you start? Since you're the first pick this week, tell us all your picks that you had last week.
Yeah, all-star lineup, Mystery Incorporated, Team Avatar, Team Mario, Team 7/Team Kakashi, and Dunder Mifflin Scranton.
Thomas?
I had Flip Cup team from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Washington Sentinels from the replacements, Sudbury Blueberry Bulldogs, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers from the movie, and Philadelphia Hebrew Academy Lions.
It's very Philly. Your list is a lot more Philly than I remembered it being. Two out of 5. I guess it's a
Two.
lot.
Go Birds.
Andrew, yours?
Yeah, my team was the Toon Squad, AFC Richmond, Average Joe's Gym, the original Elite Four from Pokemon, and the Expendables.
Great. And I had the Fellowship of the Ring, Justice League Unlimited from the cartoon series, the Springfield Nuclear Plant softball team, the Monstars, and the Homeward Bound Pets, which is Shadow, Chance, and Sassy. So all of those picks are not available this week. I know Andrew really wanted the Homeward Bound Pets. He's a bit of a dog guy. Many people have heard it. But we are going to avoid those.
I am a
I
dog
wasn't planning
guy.
on saying that, and then it just, sometimes magic.
Andrew, don't let him get to you. That was a good pick. It got railroaded.
It was a good pick. It was a genuinely good pick, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise. But sometimes you gotta just really viciously attack one of your friends for their decisions.
I do have a thought. Andrew, as our AI guy, can you take either our 5 teams or alternative teams and put it, and AI tell us who would win? Like,
I mean,
don't
I
specify.
can type this into ChatGPT if that's what you're asking me
and
to
I
do.
wouldn't specify like battle royale or basketball or baseball. I just want to know that my team would win.
Let's do that after this episode, and
Yeah,
we'll
just
see how it turns out.
Who would win? Leave
Win
it
it-
as broad as possible.
Win at what?
Did I not just say don't specify?
Yeah, don't
Don't
specify.
okay.
just say-
All right, you guys want to get into it? Once again,
Yeah.
The order this week is going to be Modai first, then Andrew, then Tom, then me, and then we are going to snake back. This is a snake draft. The usual stuff. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. If you are listening to us on any one of those platforms, or you are watching a clip on any one of those platforms, follow us on every single one of those platforms. Tell your friends, tell your parents, tell your significant others, tell the people you broke up with when you were in high school. Let them know. List night every episode, or episodes every weekday.
If for nothing else, at least for rooting for Modai to beat Red and for Thomas to beat Modai.
I can't.
Can sniff
At this point, I think I saw someone say that it's possible because they did it, and I guarantee they didn't do it on their first try. I guarantee they kept hitting it until they got legendary for their first 3 picks.
They kept refreshing it 100%.
Yeah, that's cheating. That's not how this goes.
No, of course not. Yeah, and I could even, if I have a bad team, start it over and do a fresh new recording, and I don't even do that because commitment to the game.
That'd be dishonest.
You got it.
All right, let's do it.
Real quick, before I give my pick, I just want to say I've been watching Justice League Unlimited. It's a great time. Very fun watch. A lot of the mini series arcs are really good, really fun. It's been a great time.
It's a great
I love
show.
that for you. That's really great. I'm going to tell you, I know that we had talked about different things that you were going to watch when that episode ended. Justice League Unlimited was one of them. The Expendables was at the bottom of the list.
Yeah, probably.
Take your time getting to the Expendables. You're not missing a ton not having that in your tool belt.
That one will be last. Anyways,
it truly should be.
Yeah. Now I'll actually give my pick. So I really didn't think that this would not have been picked in the entire first round of us doing, not first round, the entire day of us doing this. It's not because they made a bunch of big announcements, but it's the Avengers. I'm not going to pretend that I'm the biggest Marvel guy in the world. I've seen most of the movies, but I feel like at this point, it's just a value pick. I get the Avengers. I get everybody that comes with it, who I know from the movies. I couldn't name everybody from the comics, but I'm guessing it's a lot of people. I'm guessing it probably also rivals the people from Justice League. So I will take the Avengers.
Yeah, it's a really good pick. I'm just going to go super quick on this one. I didn't take them because I took the Justice League. And we never set criteria for why we were picking the teams the way that we were. In terms of power level, the Justice League absolutely suns the Avengers. That doesn't matter. It's still a really good pick. I also didn't want to get boxed into being the Avengers guy. But now that you've taken them, I'm not the Avengers guy or the Marvel Cinematic Universe guy. It's a good pick. I mean, is there a more iconic team from the last 15 years? Probably not. They've kind of run the film industry and the superhero world. Thomas is going to have some debate on that. He's going to say the Sudbury Blueberry Bulldogs or something.
Philadelphia Eagles.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Fictional teams. You're right.
I don't think there's anything negative to say about this pick. I didn't pick it because a little too mainstream for my taste. Well,
Big
yeah,
hipster.
I mean, what's bad to say other than they're making too many movies?
The new movie has too many people.
Huge value for the Avengers to fall to part 2 of this episode, and I think it only fell this low because all of us tried to big brain this list and think overly creative. But in reality, this is a stacked team, so it's a good pick.
I think Andrew did on why I didn't get picked.
Yeah. He's breaking kayfabe yet again. Almost trying to be a little bit too cool for school.
You're like, why would I get a group of the most elite superheroes of all time when I could get the Flip Cup team from Always Sunny with my first pick?
And you know how many Chris's you're getting with that pick? You're getting all of the famous Chris's in Hollywood.
That's true.
That's a lot of Chris.
It's a lot of Chris's.
No pie.
It's a lot of Chris's.
All right. My first pick of this second part of the episode, I was inspired by Modai's Mario pick from last time because I was like, is that really a team? I don't know. But because of that, I'm going to go with the roster from Super Smash Bros. And I'll say the roster from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And the reason I think this is okay to call it a team is because there is a story mode. I didn't really play it very much, but where they all sort of team up to a degree against, I don't know, the powers that be. I don't know what they're fighting against.
Master Hand
And all of his other mastered hands.
The subspace emissary.
Yeah. I know Brawl had a big story mode, and I think Ultimate also had a big story mode, but I don't know, because I think because of the story mode, you can consider them a team, and they're just completely stacked with video game characters.
I'll allow it being picked as a team because it helps my Dunder Mifflin and Team Mario. But serious question, is Ultimate the Switch one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I was I know after Melee, I don't know which one's which. Except I guess Brawl was, I think, the Wii.
Brawl.
But yeah, I mean that's a stacked roster. You're getting all kinds of characters, and even the people that they added, like DLC, they added Sora. I think they added Banjo Kazooie. You're getting in a stacked roster.
They got really boring with the names for a moment, because then the one after Brawl, I think, is just called Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. They just named the console that it was for in the title.
It seemed like the whole all of Nintendo just sort of gave up during the Wii U era.
The Wii U was just it's like a fever dream of a time in Nintendo's history where they were still making money, but no one knows what happened during those 5 years. We love that console. We had a great time with that console.
I do think, Andrew, you made the right choice Because if you had said Super Smash Bros. Or Super Smash Bros. Melee, or maybe Brawl, I don't know, before the story, like the story mode that wasn't just singular character, because I guess it's Ultimate or maybe it's Brawl, I don't remember, where you have to play as multiple characters throughout the story mode. So yeah, I think in that sense the team aspect works. Also,
I like
just great
this
fucking
one.
games.
Great fucking games. Absolutely. I like this one a lot because the initial like concept of Super Smash was that it was like some little kids action figures, or maybe some adults action figures. We don't know if Master Hand is a kid or an adult. Honestly, probably an adult. And they're
Move
just
past
basically
it.
doing the same thing that kids do with their action figures all the time, where they're just smashing them together and making them play together. And if there's nothing that's like more evident of like creative teamwork than taking all of your favorite action figures and putting them on one team against another team, I mean, that's what Super Smash is. I would not have thought to pick this as a team, but it's good. This is a good pick.
Yeah.
And especially in the Nintendo world that you're sticking with.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, but no, that you brought up a good point that is making me think more, because you're right. In the 64 version, the original Smash, it was like Master Hand was like taking out all the toys and like playing with
Yeah.
them or whatever. But then Master Hand was also the bad guy. So it's like, are the action figures like fighting against the person that's playing with? That would be like if Toy Story, all those toys just started like kicking Andy's ass.
Way
Well,
better
I
movie.
think-
I'd watch the shit out of
Yeah.
that movie. I think maybe let's just make an assumption here. Maybe Master Hand is trying to put them away at the end of the
Yeah,
day, and that's
that's
you
what I was gonna
fighting
say.
him.
Mm-hmm.
That's the vibe
Yeah.
I was gonna ride
It-
with.
That's what I assume.
It's still a little bit like if Woody and Buzz just started to destroy
Go on.
Andy.
Toy Story 5, here we come.
Yeah. Kill Andy, go after Andy's mom. There's a horror movie there that
Like
once
in the
Toy Story moves
Pooh-verse?
into the public domain in 80 years, like they did with Winnie the Pooh and a few other things recently,
Yeah, the
I'd watch
Pooh-verse.
the shit out of that movie.
Wait,
Well,
you mean
you'll be
Little
dead.
Soldiers?
It is
That's
like
a
Little
great
Soldiers
movie.
a little bit, but those like started off as like they're actual like soldiers.
And I just thought of another team.
The Little
Is it
Soldiers.
the Argonauts or whatever their names were?
No, I don't remember what they are. All right,
I think it's the Argonauts.
My pick. I thought Modi was about to pick this when he said, "I can't believe they made it this far," and I still can't believe they made it this far. I almost picked them last week instead of the Power Rangers, but I made my choice and I'm okay with it. It's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I don't know how they didn't get picked on my list. It's a solid core four, great coach, couple bench players. It's a great team.
Bench players being April and Casey, or bench players being Michelangelo and Donatello.
Shut your fucking mouth. Raphael is the worst one. All he is angry. Yeah, all he is angry.
Absurd. It's absurd.
He's a team cancer.
Every team needs one.
Cancer to the
Every
team.
team needs a hothead.
Yes, Casey and April bench players. So is
Got
the
it, okay.
female Ninja Turtle that I disappeared. Maybe still exists. I don't know.
I don't think she's a thing anymore. That was very 80s trying to sell merch. This is why I'm glad we didn't do our honorable mentions at the end of last week's episode, because this probably would have been like the first one that all of us mentioned. This was one of my backup like 4th or 5th round picks. Yeah, a lot of value here, kind of like the Avengers. Like this is an iconic team, particularly for our generation. I've got no beef with this pick at all. I think there's a reason why they did not show up on our first draft, but you know, they're good for a backup draft.
And awesome arcade game too, which comes with the pick.
They span all media. Good comics, good movies, good shows, good games.
Yeah. I
But,
don't really have any beef with the Ninja Turtles like at all in any world. They're kind of crushing it.
I was gonna say
They
good
really
like
like
old
pizza.
school arcade games too.
Yeah, Turtles Through Time. Fucking one of the best games. Phenomenal. All right, great pick, Thomas. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, you know, you usually say that when we've been like abusing you and bullying you for a little while. This is actually a really good pick, and I like where your head's at with this one. Yeah, you got to it before anybody else did. For my first pick of the round true draft, or my 6th pick, whatever, I'm going to take Team Rocket, for whom team is fully half of the name.
Doesn't make it a better pick.
Truthfully, what's up?
I said just because it has team in the name doesn't make it a good pick.
I would argue that it does. I'm not going to dog on any of my former picks, but like Fellowship versus, if they were called Team of the Ring, like that's pretty good.
Is it?
This is primarily Jesse and James and Meowth and all of their various Pokemon, because those are the ones that I know from the anime. But we could also say like the bigger overarching organization from all of the different media, because Jesse and James and Meowth are not particularly good at being a team sometimes. Although at the same time, they have one of the most organic bits of chemistry than anybody else. Is James gay? Is Jesse in love with him? Can anybody else understand Meowth? What's going on there? There's a lot of things happening. I'm a big Team Rocket guy, and it's been a really good week for our social media for Pokemon stuff. So I'm gonna make some Pokemon picks.
So you're just fully diving into the villain team, taking them into Monstars. Is that what's going on here?
I don't love that you have said that on my first pick of this draft because
It only
there's a
gets
lot
worse.
more to look forward to.
I won't say anything more about villains then.
You love the bad guys, but yeah, I mean, it's a fun pick. This was on my list. I don't know if I was going to pick it or not, but I was toying with it. I'm glad you mentioned both the in-game universe Team Rocket that was actually like a little bit more competent than Jesse and James, and then they just threw in Jesse and James for the anime to make like just as fully comedic characters. But they are funny, so I'll give them that. I love their catchphrase. Or like their whole like intro thing, and then Team Rocket's blasting off again. It's good stuff. So they're iconic. I'll give you that. I don't know if they're good.
I mean, it's certainly not, my pushback would be that at least in the show, they're not competent. They don't win, but like it's a classic. Like I get why you would pick them. Like they're like they were perfect for what they were on the show, and yeah, in the games, obviously it's a little different.
We've all seen the Mewtwo movie, right? Like the first Pokemon movie.
No spoilers, please.
Team Rocket is the one who clones Mew to make Mewtwo, right? So like they're the only people in the entire series that like actually have genuine blood on their hands. Like people die in the beginning of that movie, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's Giovanni.
In a universe where no one dies and Pokemon can only get KO'd, I think a number of scientists are lit on fire at the beginning.
Cubone's mom dies in the game.
Yeah, that's true.
Cubone's
Cubone's mom has to die.
Ash's dad.
You mean Mr. Mime?
I'm pretty sure Ash's dad is Mr. Mime. Yeah, Modai knows. Modai's picking up what we're putting down.
Yeah, no, Giovanni and most of his henchmen are like pretty evil. Actually, it's Jesse and James that are more just funny than anything else.
Yeah,
They just fell in the wrong crowd.
Mr. Mime, by the way, not a Pokemon, just his dad with a weird fetish for dressing up like that. Has no Pokemon abilities whatsoever.
Pretty low base stats.
Moving on to another villainous pick. My next pick, the first pick of the second round, I'm going to take the Galactic Empire. They're a team. They're an empire. They're like the most comprehensive team imaginable because they run an entire galaxy. I'm getting Darth Sidious, Emperor Palpatine. I'm getting Darth Vader. I will not take the ones from the prequels because they weren't technically the Empire. Get a lot of cool technology. Yeah, am I going to lose some fights? Sure. Am I going to spend a lot of money building a Death Star and having it blown up by some hotshot pilot from a desert planet? Yeah, of course I am.
Cover it up.
Yeah.
2 times.
Cover the whole up.
But I'm going to try it a third time. And that's what really sticks out about the Galactic Empire is that when you knock them down, they'll spend more money and they'll get back up. They're
So
a
the
lot
exact
like
same thing.
American politicians in that respect.
Maybe they changed tactics just a little bit and like tried something different.
Nah, it's going to work eventually. Just keep making the Death Star bigger. In 7, it was a planet. In 10, maybe it'll be a galaxy. Who knows?
Yeah. That's no moon. Any reason why you chose them over the good guys of the story, the Rebel Alliance?
It's a bit.
Just,
Too good of a pick.
Rebel Alliance was kind of like a part 1 draft pick for the old Griffcat, and Galactic Empire also, let's be honest. Let's be super straight up. The reason I picked them, they're cooler. Like
Way cooler.
They are objectively cooler than dudes. They look like they're in the future. They have cool uniforms. They have cool ships. Again, they have the Death Star. They got the red lightsabers. Like they've got all that stuff. They got black suits. The Rebel Alliance, yeah, do they win more fights? Absolutely. But they also look like they've been beat to shit and back. And if Luke Skywalker's not there and Han Solo's not there, they're getting trounced. It's not going to work out for them. They happen to win the fights that we saw, but what about the fights we didn't see?
Galactic Empire is a way cooler name as well, so I'll give you that.
It absolutely is.
Griffin, this pick is kind of like it's kind of like if a 16 seed is like beating a 1 seed and they're like about to win and everyone's rooting for the 16 seed and you're just like, no, like I'm rooting for Duke. I'm rooting for Duke to kick their ass. It's just it's the anti-underdog pick, but I like it. It's a good pick, and I like to imagine that you're choosing the SNL undercover boss skit version with Kylo Ren, because that looks like a fun place to work.
So kind of like the Team Rocket version The Jesse and
Yeah.
James version.
It's like hijinks, but with murder on the side. This is, I mean, we're going to know in the next 24 hours or so whether or not my 1 seed is actually going to continue to move forward or not. But I am picking a 1 seed this tournament. I want Florida to win it all. So
I feel like hijinks with murder on the side is a tagline for Netflix's next spin-off of like a comedic Dexter.
what's the Glass Onion series? What's the name of those?
Glass Onion.
The murder
Um,
mysteries.
Daniel Craig, Knives Out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Knives Out. Yeah, Knives
Yeah.
Out is
Hijinks with the
hijinks with murder on the side.
That's fair.
I never finished the second one. I don't know if there was any murder in that. I kind of got bored. Unimportant. Let's move on.
Yeah, move on. All right. My 26th pick of the draft.
Jesus, I knew he was going to do it.
We got a theme going on here. It's the Thundercats, another 80s animated, not quite superhero, but adventure action team with awesome names like Lion-O and Tigra. Thundercats was a fun time. You got Snarf, comedic relief. You got some badasses. And they brought it back like 10 years ago, so I think. And tried it again, and it probably didn't last very long. But Thundercats help.
I don't think anybody
Okay,
knows anything
cool.
about this.
Nobody likes Thundercats.
I know a lot about the Thundercats. I just don't want to go first every time.
Oh, yeah, I'll go. I thought you were going to say Thunderbolts, and I was going to say that I don't know anything about them. I know less about the Thundercats, so.
You didn't watch the Thundercats growing up at all?
No.
What was it? Boomerang or Cartoon Network? Or
Warner Brothers, so whatever it was.
Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
It would have been on
Thundercats
Boomerang,
kick
I
ass.
guess, because
Snarf is awesome. There was a period of time when we were in early college where they were planning on doing a reboot of Thundercats. And for some reason, our group got really excited about that and like talked about how we were going to watch that. And there was a period of time where we would say the word Snarf. And I look back at those times, not fondly. Everything else surrounding them, really great. Getting hyped for a bad reboot of Thundercats, less great. It's a good team, I think. Maybe.
sorry, I'm just rereading. They did bring it back in 2011, and then they tried again in 2020, and they did not last. Both only lasted 1 season.
I think it is coming back again, though, sometime in the next few years because of the
Electric Boogaloo?
He-Man reboots that they just did. I think they're now planning on also doing another Thundercat reboot, maybe with Kevin Smith writing it. I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
I bet.
This
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah,
Thundercats were an awesome team. You guys are idiots. Snarf.
I believe you that they're an
Snarf.
awesome team. I don't remember much actually about Thundercats. That's what I was going to say, Griffin, is I do remember OG List Night Facebook days. Half the comments, or maybe not half the comment, but a lot of comments were just Snarf. So
A
it's
lot of
memeable.
comments.
So it's memeable. So for that reason, good pick.
Oh no, Lion-O. See, it's like sticks in your head. I can remember a show from the 80s and the dumb shit that their comic relief said, but I can't remember like
Selective
All right.
memory.
Okay,
All right, good
moving
pick,
on to
Thomas.
my next pick.
bad pick.
I'm gonna take the Sandlot baseball team. I don't know if you
Such a basic.
I don't know if
pick.
any of you guys thought about taking them, but
Definitely
they're
didn't.
just like the classic middle school baseball team. I don't know, like I don't know what to say about them. All I know is Benny the Jet Rodriguez could have carried any team to victory. So because they had him, they're fantastic.
Yeah, it was on my list. I didn't think that anybody else was going to take it. So I probably wouldn't even taken it with my next 2 picks. But yeah, I didn't know what the name was. So I wrote it down on my list as like the team from the Sandlot. Are they just called the Sandlot? Is that their team name?
I think they're
don't
just
think they have
called
a
the
name.
Sandlot.
Because they don't have friends to play against.
Well, they have their
They
like
They
rivals
don't
or
have
whatever.
money
They
to
have that
join a
other
Pee Wee
team.
League team.
Yeah.
They have
Yeah.
that other team, and
One
that's
time.
another point for the Sandlot team because they had the best comeback of all time with "You Play Ball Like a Girl."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I actually,
Wow, Andrew.
I had the Sandlot as a potential second round pick on the last draft, and I just didn't go in that direction. And part of the reasoning I had was, yeah, are they more of a collection of friends than like an actual fixed team? Sure. But the one time they go up on screen against an actual team of kids who have like nice uniforms and nice bats and everything else, they just absolutely trounce them. They
Yeah, but
make
you
them
hate-
look
you
like they're
hate-
bad at baseball.
You just said you didn't like the Rebel Lions because they look like that. You hate underdogs.
To be clear, I did not pick this team. I didn't pick them in either one of my drafts.
Yeah, but look,
I just had written out a
here's my thing.
descriptor for why
In
they were cool.
what-
They also, have some cool background music at various times.
I don't think any of us had the classic, according to Andrew, middle school baseball team. We didn't have who has this many friends who aren't actually on a team? It's unrealistic.
I don't have this many
is what
friends
I'm saying.
now.
Well, this
Unrealistic.
was This is set in like the 1960s or something.
This
Like
is
so.
this is the most fictional pick yet.
The 1960s were fictional.
No, the Sandlot team is the most fictional pick yet.
The fact that at no point during the Sandlot did they do bomb cover drills, that's the most fictional part of it.
I would argue
And
that
at no point did the main guy's stepfather just beat his mom on screen.
And did none of
Because
them
you're
ever
waiting
just?
for it the whole time. You're like, why
He
isn't he
definitely
beating her?
did
You
off
don't-
screen.
You don't
Yeah,
go
he did.
that
Yeah,
long.
he did.
You don't go that long without seeing Hercules over the fence.
Yeah.
How do
Yeah.
they not know he was just a big dog?
They meet James Earl Jones and he gives them a ball, and then the parents aren't going over to yell at the black man who has been hanging out with their kids in the 1960s. Really? Are we sure?
Where does this take place?
This is the most fictional part of it. Apparently, this is a world where race relations have been fixed entirely.
also in hindsight, maybe not a good look for Squints for essentially, sexually assaulting that lifeguard. But he was a
Well, they
kid.
get
But it was a
married.
good moment. But it was a
Well,
good
Yeah.
all
moment.
of this is from the memory of the main kid, so maybe in real life, Squints was the victim.
No,
It's true.
Maybe.
he's a
I
predator.
don't want to be this guy. I don't want this to become part of my bit. I'm gonna rescind that one because I don't. If we end up clipping this, I don't want that to be part of the clip.
Yeah, but anyway, baseball fun. Good
Good
pick.
pick.
Here's the-
Yeah.
Yeah, games are fun. Baseball's fun.
It's definitely not a bad pick. And if we were doing like fictional sports teams, it probably would have been picked sooner because it's a fun movie. I just, you know what? That's fine.
I think
There's
not
nothing-
having a real team name and just calling themselves based on the location they play at.
I don't
Point
think
away
they
from
call themselves that. I think that's just the name
Okay,
of
that's
the
what
movie.
we call them. I don't think they call themselves anything. So are they really a team? If you don't name your team, are you a team? If the Empire hadn't called themselves the Empire, would we be like, oh, wow, all these guys just showed up today and took over the galaxy?
I mean, to be fair, did the Ninja Turtles call themselves Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
I think so. I think it's like in the intro song.
They probably did.
Yeah, I gotta, based on the way they do everything else, I gotta imagine they
I don't think-
absolutely did.
Do you think they were singing the intro song themselves? 'Cause I think we
Yeah.
remember it differently.
Them and who's the white rapper?
Vanilla Ice.
Vanilla Ice. Yeah.
Go Ninja,
yeah.
go Ninja, go.
Not white rapper. Not the white rapper. White rapper.
Okay.
The
All
one
right.
in
Well,
the movie.
got it. My next pick. Another one that I thought might have been taken. Just give me the OG Gen 1 starters. Squirtle, Charmander, Bulbasaur. It's part of Ash's team. They're part of the team in Pokemon Yellow. They're absolutely a team. They're the most iconic. I think the most excited I am when I have kids is to put the three together next to each other and then have my kid choose them. So I'll take the OG starters. I get all evolutions as well. And yeah, I mean, just iconic stuff.
Sorry.
Making your
So
own
we
rule.
were pushing back on your evolutions there.
I like
on
how
us.
quickly he's getting ahead of every pushback, but the way he's saying it, he sounds like a little kid, like telling his friend why he gets all the cool toys and they get the dog shit toys. Like, yeah, you can have Pidgey, but I get all the starters and their evolution.
Just covered all my bases.
Yeah,
So, wait,
this
you-
is good because my pushback was going to be that the starters are like verifiably not a team because you only get to pick one
Yeah,
of
you
them
pick
and you
one,
fight
but-
the other one. But you specified in yellow where I think
And
you
Ash.
do end up getting all of them.
And Ash gets them as well.
And and Ash gets them as well. So that specification does help. Otherwise, man, I was ready to push back against you, but you poked a hole in that one. So you win this round.
Check.
Yeah, I mean, you found a way to make them a team, so I respect it. They're three great, or I guess 9 if you're including all the evolutions. 9
Well, now
great
they have
Pokemon.
megas. Now they have
12.
megas. So like 12.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
It's it's
I think you've been spending too much time on that TikTok filter because to me, the starters and the final evolutions are not the same thing, and I don't understand why on that filter they're treated the same way. That doesn't make any sense at all.
because it sounds like a lot more coding to.
Yeah,
That's literally-
I think it's a coding thing more than anything. I think it's just laziness, really.
Well, no, it's the code has to be under a certain number of characters, so he couldn't make it super long.
You actually like looked this up.
Dunlo told me because he spent.
That's interesting.
I think over the past week, work week, he spent more time on this than his actual job. Our friend Dunlo,
Got it.
who thankfully
I want to be
he
super clear as well. I'm not going to shit on the guy who made a filter and call it actual laziness because he's clearly smarter and better at anything than I've ever been at anything. But it has been very confusing why some of your picks have not gotten there. And now we have reason.
Yeah, good pick. The iconic, 3 of the most iconic Pokemon, right? Like, I get it, and you defended it very quickly before we got to say anything, so I respect that too.
I would say
two of the
I would
most
say after-
iconic in Bulbasaur.
Hey, Bulbasaur's
I hope you
Pokemon
trip
number
tomorrow.
one. I would argue after Pikachu, they're the three most iconic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, if you include the evolutions, which we are.
Yeah, I do get the evolutions.
yeah.
All right,
I mean,
well-
I think Mewtwo's up there. I
think Jigglypuff more so.
Jigglypuff also up there. I was
Definitely
also
up
thinking
there.
about Jigglypuff.
And apparently
The show
Eevee,
and Smash Bros did brought Jigglypuff up a lot.
Yeah.
apparently Eevee's popular with the kids. That's what my
Eevee's
Yes, I do
incredibly
know that.
popular with like
My
Gen
my
Z.
nieces,
yeah,
my nieces, which whatever generation they are, they love
yeah.
Gen Alpha,
Eevee.
I think.
I don't
Eevee's
care.
Eevee's cute. Like Eevee's like it goes beyond people that would normally care about Pokemon because I feel like it like taps into like the Hello Kitty crowd because it's a cute Pokemon and it
Yeah.
like a little fox dog thing.
Eevee's kind of like Modai talking about how he wants all of his starters though, where it's like, yeah, you want one Pokemon, but really you want like 9 Pokemon. And
15.
it's like sometimes you gotta commit to things. Just commit to things.
Sure,
It's
I'll
like saying
commit
your
to
favorite
the-
Pokemon's Ditto. Grow up.
While you're stretching the definition of team like I was on my earlier, you should have just been like, I'll take every Pokemon. I'll take all
Pokemon.
3,000 Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, you could have taken Ash's team, which at this point is probably included, like
See-
150 actual Pokemon, even though he never wins anything.
I actually thought about that. A, he doesn't win anything. That would have been the first thing that someone said. And his Charizard doesn't listen to him, which I feel like somebody would have brought that up. And so
That
that
never
would have been a point
changed.
against me.
We're getting really into the weeds of the Pokemon anime at this point, and I am loving it. This filter has done a lot to our brains in the last 2 weeks.
Let's hope it does a lot to our engagement as well, but we can move on. All right. I thought I wrote this one down. Yeah, my next pick is going to be the Mighty Ducks, specifically the second version, the movie 2 of the Mighty Ducks, where they get all those collection of talent just off of the street. I think Kel was one of them, right? One of the,
Yeah, he's
Where's
the
Keenan?
only one that get off the street. I think the rest of them come from like other states. But sure, continue.
Oh yeah, you're right. But they actually get him when they're there, and then the other ones, they like
He teaches them the knuckle puck
the
while
knuckle
they're
puck.
rollerblading.
You're
So,
right.
Didn't you say Kel? It's Keenan.
Keenan, yeah.
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 Okay. I'm just making sure I'm not thinking of someone else.
Not dodging the racism allegations on this pod. Let me tell you what.
Anyways, yeah, I get both Bash Bros. I get the guy before in Mighty Ducks 3 where he goes to varsity, whose name I forget. Yeah, Banks. Yeah, I thought
You give the rich kid the last name Banks. What are the odds?
He's in all
Yeah.
3 movies too. Go on.
He is in all 3.
crazy. You get the head coach Gordon Bombay, a Mackinac Babes in that movie as well. So that's a cool part of it. And yeah, iconic team.
They were on my list. Almost picked them last week. I agree with you. D2 is the best team of the 3 teams. You get Julie the cat and Cage. You get the third Bash Bro, who's the figure skater.
Get
And
the kid
then
from
other names I
Texas.
don't remember. Yeah, it's a
You
great
didn't
pick.
remember that kid's name.
It's a absolutely crazy good movie, fun time. All 3, honestly, but 2 is probably the best one. Like movie 2.
Yeah, 2's the best one.
Plus Buckeyes.
Well, you guys already named every kid that I could remember from Mighty Ducks, so I don't really have anything to add, but it is a good pick, and I probably
mean, no
would've
one
picked
said
it up in, like,
Goldberg,
the
I
last
think.
round.
No one said Goldberg. I'm actually surprised no one said Goldberg. Guy kicks ass.
Julie the cat
I
was
mean,
better.
two is definitely like verifiably better. It's really confusing that they went from competing on the world stage at 13 years old to struggling to take on varsity high schoolers at 14, 15 years old.
Yeah,
I don't know what they were doing during the offseason, but I assume it's just that they hadn't been on the ice in a while. And
the
then,
success got to their head. Who knows?
if this had been a Thomas pick and not a Modai pick, it probably would have been the animated Mighty Ducks cartoon team from the late 90s rather than the live action movie team. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think there's a bad choice between those two. I think no matter what, I would have supported it. But yeah, this is like up there with the Sandlot for being one of the iconic fictional sports teams of our childhood.
We lost Andrew.
I kind of thought they were going to show up in part 1.
Me too.
Yeah, I like I said, they were very high on my list, and then I just kind of went a different direction. And yeah, I also expected them to get picked.
How are you doing, Andrew?
My third pick, I'm going to take an unorthodox pick. I'm going to take the Street Legends from the NBA Street franchise.
Oh.
Are they a team? Sort of. I think they
It's
were
the only criteria.
I think that at the end of it, like at the end of either NBA Street or NBA Street Volume 2, that they all sort of like teamed up. But I do know that each one individually was like the boss level of the city circuit, the gameplay. But I don't know if you guys remember like some of them, but like Stretch was the most iconic one. It was the really tall dude with like the afro. I guess he was sort of like a Julius Erving like knockoff.
He was the cover athlete, wasn't he?
Yeah,
He was
he
the
was.
cover guy. But there was other people. There's this guy named Bonafide who was like a little point guard who was just really good.
That's an incredible nickname.
He was essentially like a Allen Iverson knockoff.
Yeah, they were all sort of based off of like real NBA players, but much more street and much more just like with their stats just like ramped up to the top.
It is a one. I think it's the first street game. I think it was before NFL. Either way, fantastic game. I don't remember liking the second one as much. First game was great. I think you're right. I think you can play against like all the legends as a team, so fully accepted. There's a weird Yao Ming based character that kind of like it was kind of weird looking. Like I don't think they'd put all their efforts into that one. There was the white guy who was like, what is he based off the professor or Jason Williams? Who knows? Phenomenal
chocolate.
game. I mean, I might dig it up and play it this week.
When I first got a GameCube, I played NBA Street straight for like a week in middle school.
You got to serve it up and then dinner served.
So,
And isn't that like he's heating up, he's on fire from NBA Street? He's heating up, he's on fire.
Isn't that NFL
No,
Blitz?
that's Jam. He's thinking NBA
Jam.
Jam.
NBA
NBA
Jam.
Jam.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
NBA
NBA
Street had
Jam,
a lot.
another iconic one that is, I think, exclusively real people. Although I think there was one character that was like their version of Magic Johnson or Charles Barkley or MJ or something like that because they didn't have the rights to him. So it was like Player Zero or something like that. But yeah, all good games, all good teams.
I now I want to meet like whatever woman did the announcer effect for NBA Street because she had so many good ones beyond just dinner serve. She had like slip and slide and like all the like all the moves that you could do. It was
You should get her to
iconic sounds.
MC your wedding.
That'd be amazing.
You should get her to MC this podcast.
Even better.
Even better.
Really need a fourth. That's a good pick. I got nothing else.
I don't really have anything on this one. I wasn't an NBA Street guy. I think I've probably spent a lot more time watching you guys play the various street games than actually playing them myself. Iconic games and great characters, but I couldn't tell you anything really about them. I'll defer to Tom. If it's a good pick, it's a good pick. It's a good
Great
vibes
game.
pod.
It's a great game. I don't remember the team really at all, but if you guys say it was a team, I believe it, and the game's phenomenal.
All right.
I feel like this pick was spoiled. And it was on my list last week, right above the Mighty Ducks. And I was like, I don't know which one I would take. And then Griffin opened his big mouth. It is the animated Mighty Ducks team. And fun fact, I have never seen the second half, I guess, of the season, but they used to do this with all the shows. You could get a VHS and it'd be like 8 episodes, but it would play as a movie. And then you had to get a second VHS for the second half. I, to this day, have never seen the second half of the animated Mighty Ducks because I only had the first VHS. And I'd watch it all
You've
the
only
time.
seen them when they're on their like home planet before
No.
explodes like Krypton.
No, they get to Earth. There's a lot of stuff on Earth, but like
Okay.
I see it. What's his Wild Wing
Wild Wing, I think. Yeah.
finally like puts on the mask, and then they win the first battle, and then there's more to come, and then I've never
Genuinely
seen it after
incredible
that.
show. Genuinely
phenomenal.
like so very clearly designed to sell merchandise,
God,
and
yeah.
yet just perfect, just like everything else of that era.
Yeah, I loved it. And Kevin had the action figures, and it was sick. Good stuff.
I'm really proud of myself for unintentionally predicting that if you had had a Mighty Ducks pick, that would have been yours.
Yeah.
This feels good.
Yeah. The movies are
Unfortunately.
good, so that's my analysis.
Yeah, now I'm just thinking if I can pick like different versions of the picks that you guys have already made, like an animated version of I don't know.
Or like a real
pick any
life
team that's
version of
already
Team
been picked.
Rocket.
No, it's a good pick. This one makes sense. Sometimes this is not one of your wild card picks. Sometimes you like throw something out there that I'm like, I don't know about that, and then you come back down to earth with a normal Thomas pick. That's good.
This is an incredibly on-brand Thomas pick. Yeah. But I support it, and I feel good about it. Okay. My third pick? Yes.
30-second.
My 32nd pick, or the 32nd pick, which is my third pick of the second draft. I'm going to take the Ginyu Force from Dragon Ball Z. They have their own theme song. They have their own dance moves. One of them believes that he's the fastest in the galaxy. He's objectively not. They all have really cool powers, and they've got a fun little look going. I think they have good LGBT representation, which is always something that you want to see from a mid-90s anime. I don't know if they ever really like talk about that, but we know. Yeah, I love the Ginyu Force. I think they're the most fun villains in the entirety of Dragon Ball Z.
Wait, okay, so they're who's on this team? I mean, I love Dragon Ball Z, but I
Burter,
don't know the lore
Jace,
that well.
Captain Ginyu. I'm
Does
going to
this
forget the other
include-
two names right now, but it's like Captain Ginyu's the one with like he can like transform with people's he can switch with people's bodies, and he like turns one of them into a frog, but then he gets turned into a frog.
Yeah, he's a frog.
Yeah, one of them sounds like he's from Australia, which in Dragon Ball Z Abridged they just keep calling Space Australia. Which honestly, my remembrance of these guys is from Dragon Ball Z Abridged at this point, because that has replaced how I actually think about DBZ. But yeah, they're kind of like they're very like Power Ranger adjacent, but villains, and in the DBZ universe. And they're mostly comic relief, but they're actually kind of strong. But they mostly serve to be there before Frieza. Like they work for Frieza.
That was the question I was going to ask. Frieza's not part of the Ginyu Force, correct?
No,
Ginyu
the Ginyu Force is his like primary, like they're like his generals.
Okay, got it. Yeah. I think I'm going to have the most thoughts on this, and I've only read. I guess I played the Kakarot game, and then I read the manga, and it was a fun arc. So good pick.
Thanks, man. Andrew was a big DBZ guy back in the day. I don't know if you found that out on previous episodes.
Yeah, but I don't know. I would have never picked, but like back when I was watching DBZ in like middle school, I never got into it like later, like as an adult, like, you know, like not even
become me and Modai is
Right,
what you're
yeah.
saying.
So the point of me saying that is to say I would never have like picked the bad guys back then as someone that I want on my team.
Yeah. No, they kick
Villain.
ass. They were also super fun if you ever played the DBZ like video games like Budokai.
Budokai, yeah.
They were all really, really fun to play. Like they were definitely not the strongest characters, but they all had really fun power sets. And so if you were actually good at the game, those are the kind of guys that you'd play as.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. Thomas, anything, or are you out on DBZ?
I've never watched, and the only things I recognize that you guys talked about was Dragon Ball and Frieza. No other names.
Okay.
ring any
And the
bells for
letter
me.
Z.
And the letter
I'm
Z.
proud of you that you got that much, buddy. Because when we did GBZ like 2 years ago, this came up, and you were like, I don't know. I don't know what any of those words in that order mean. So, all right.
Z though, good luck when we do a letters draft one day. Z
Man, Z is an all-time. We have done a letters draft, just not
tier ranking. It was a tier ranking.
We did a tier ranking, yeah. Not on camera. All right, so for my fourth pick, which I guess is the 33rd pick. Yeah, cool, good. This one is actually going to completely ignore Modai and Andrew and go fully to Thomas. I'm going to take the Forsaken from the Wheel of Time book, and I guess now TV series. There's two different names for them. The good guys call them the Forsaken, and the bad guys call them the Chosen. Honestly, I think Forsaken is a cooler name than Chosen. Chosen's very biblical. Forsaken's very Galactic Empire. These were the people that, as a kind of collective unit, sided with the bad guys during the breaking of the world in pre-Wheel of Time fiction, and they're essentially why the world went through an apocalypse. And they all come back over the course of the series. And calling them a team is me really stretching the definition of team as much as possible. This actually might be the like most specific collection of individuals who are only a team because they respond to the same team name and have the same boss. But they all generally hate each other, and they try and backstab each other at basically every single moment. And their backstabbing is essentially why they never win anything. They're kind of the Team Rocket of this really, really, really long fantasy series. It's not best teamwork. It's also not even best team. It's just fictional teams. It's not. It's just fictional teams. This is a fictional team that I love. I love the Forsaken. They're my favorite characters.
They are technically on the same side as each other, despite
in the loosest of ways, they're on the same side.
Like,
yeah, they're on their own side.
In terms of there's good and evil, they are on the evil side, but there's multiple sides on said evil side.
Yeah, they're in subcategories.
Wanting to re-listen to these books, but they're so effing long.
It's like 1 million pages across every book.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts.
Or 1 million words, excuse me.
I mean, it's a series I really enjoyed. It's characters I really enjoyed. I never would have thought of this, but yeah, I mean, I think there's a niche that would be like, yeah, great pick, and yeah, it's a good pick.
Thanks, man. This was really just for you because I knew Modai and Andrew were not going to know what the fuck I was talking about even a little bit. But I will get like fantasy Team Rocket that are actually from the future, kind of, but not
And
really.
less funny.
Yeah, only a little bit less funny.
No meow.
There's some comedy in there.
Is this show any good?
From what I understand, so
stopped.
I didn't like season 1 at all. I haven't
Yeah.
watched season 2, but I heard it got better. And from what I understand, season 3 is like halfway through. People are saying season 3 is incredible.
I didn't even finish the
blows
first
my
one.
mind because I can't fathom getting from season 1 to a point where it's
Good.
incredible. Yeah. But I'm going to circle back to it at some point. Maybe COVID really, really messed up season 1 more than we thought. I don't know. It's on Amazon. Maybe give it a shot. Maybe you'll like it. Maybe because you haven't read the books, Modi, maybe you will like it better than Tom and I did because you don't have anything to like hold it against and constantly compare in your head. And I truly, like, I don't think I would recommend the book series. They're so long. That's so much. They go for like 7 books longer than they need to.
I wanted the show to be good. I watched a show like right after I was late in the series. Like I was deep in the series. And I wanted the show to be so good because the books are so long and like it's such a good story, but it's so long. And it's like I don't want to revisit this except for in a different media format.
Yeah. If there was an abridged version of the books that were like 200 pages each, which honestly I think you could probably pull off and still have all the plot details, that's what I would recommend to people.
Spark Notes, right? That Spark Notes probably.
Yeah. Does Spark Notes still exist in the age of ChatGPT, or do people just be like, summarize this book for me?
I guess I could do that too.
Yeah. It might give you false information though. They might be like, yeah, so Team Rocket takes on Rand and the forces of the Dragon Reborn. All right, let's keep it moving.
Yeah, that's me. My next pick, I'm sticking with the late 80s, early 90s animated shows. This is the one I thought of 2 rounds ago, but it had not crossed my mind before. I don't remember why I thought of it. It's, they also do not have a team name, I believe. It's the Gargoyles from the series Gargoyles. Another just phenomenal animated show that didn't last for that long because all shows back then were like 1 to 2 seasons and then moved on to the next thing. But like just a fun, unique series, and it fits my theme. So Gargoyles.
I never really watched Gargoyles. So
Yeah.
So my takeaway is that our next list, we should steer away from media so that we stop running into these situations where half of us don't know the picks.
Yeah, next list night list of.
I mean, the good thing is Griffin knows every piece of media ever published.
Yeah. Next list night, list of stuff that we want the other people on list night to watch so they'll understand our picks later. We'll come up with that list.
It's going to take years. It's going to take so long, but that is good. Yeah, I do know this one, and I'm glad that I didn't say anything when we were talking about the Mighty Ducks cartoon, because I was talking about shows that are like designed for merchandising but ended up being incredible. I don't necessarily know that this was designed for merchandising, but they did a lot with it. But it is just incredible. It's not incredible in a looking back at it kind of way. Like, it's not just nostalgia glasses. You could, as an adult, you could go watch the Gargoyles cartoon series now, and the animation might not be the absolute greatest compared to what we're used to now, but the story still hits, the characters still hit. They are a great team. Like, the Gargoyles they're a family. It's a big family dynamic, and they all have really, really distinct personalities, and it's really cool setting. And yeah, I'm glad that you brought this one up, because I didn't think it was going to get shouted out. And I struggled a lot not mentioning them last week, but I knew this was going to be a pick just for Thomas.
It's just, I mean, for you two that don't know, like, they're medieval Scottish gargoyles that, like in the stories, are stoned during the day and then come to life at night to protect the castle. And they get transported.
That has been transported to the top of a skyscraper.
Yeah, in the middle of New York City in the 90s modern time, and they start coming back to life. And it's just a fun 90s show.
Yeah. And the main villain is basically Lex Luthor if he had really long hair and was a really handsome guy and had a name that started with an X, which, as we know in our letters tier listing, makes names cooler. Because if your name starts with an X, you're just a cool guy.
Cool guys.
Cool guy. Xanatos, right?
Xavier?
I think his name's Xanatos.
Samus.
Is that how we're saying Samus now? Samus?
From Super Smash.
Yeah, right, good pick, Tom. I know this will do nothing for Andrew and Modi, but I love this pick.
I do it all for you.
Terrible pick.
My fourth for this round, I'm gonna go You know what? Let's keep it as mainstream as it gets. I'm gonna just go Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's a good one.
I don't think the Avengers pick has consumed like all MCU characters within it, so I'm gonna just treat the Guardians as their own unit, the 5 of them. I just, when Guardians of the Galaxy first came out, I was always a big fan, and I think they've only grown in popularity.
I don't know why, but Marvel teams didn't even cross my mind. I feel like superhero teams in general, like other than the '90s stuff, didn't even cross my mind. It's a good pick, especially because the movies are so popular.
Yeah, sure. The Sudbury Blueberry teams came to your mind, but not the Marvel superhero teams. Got it.
I don't get it
Sudbury
either.
Blueberry
I don't get it
Bulldogs.
either.
Oh, Bulldogs. I was reading it. The Bulldogs on the second line. So all I see is Sudbury Blueberry, and I thought that was the team name.
Sudbury Blueberry is what Tom is going to name his first child. So it's either way, it's going to come up.
But
Boy or
Bulldog.
girl. It's actually a gender neutral name.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sudbury Blueberry Albert.
Guardians are a good pick. It's a fun crew. 3 really good movies. The third one is like one of the rare things that Marvel has done since Endgame that's actually good. And yeah, fun stuff.
I'd go so far as to call the third one the best of the Guardians movies, which I understand is a hot take, but it's the one that really gets the most emotion out of me. Yeah, really good team. Definitely points where they struggle at being a team, particularly in the first movie. The majority of the first movie, I would argue they're not a team, but that's, how most good teams in fiction work. It's a series of disparate, non-cohesive, characters who come together at the right time. And we get to watch them in the Guardians movies from their inception, which works really well. Nice shirt, by the way, Moda. I never said that. I didn't realize what it was till now. I couldn't see it. I couldn't see the lettering.
You sent me the link where I bought this shirt.
Guardians, good pick. Also,
Guardians, really good pick.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
If you get away from the movies, it is a larger team or a interchangeable team. But obviously, the movies are the most mainstream, and because they're good. I mean, even the second one, which is the weakest, is enjoyable enough.
It's not
The
bad.
second one has a lot of really good points. It is the weakest one, but it's got really, really good scenes. I just think, honestly, I think Drax really brings that movie down for me.
The weakest point is like the Kevin Bacon holiday special. It's just weird.
That doesn't count. That's like an advertising
It's a
movie.
mini movie.
Yeah, I guess
Like
that's
the Star
true.
Wars, it's like the Star Wars Christmas special. It doesn't really count.
That's literally what it is referencing. It's a Christmas special.
Is it like making a joke on the Star Wars one?
Yeah, they're like they release it on. I remember seeing an interview about it. They were like, "What if we did this, but it was actually like everyone was having a good time?" And that's basically what it is. Like all the actors are having a good time. You can tell they're not like fully in shape for their roles. Like Chris Pratt looks a little heavier than usual, and
Like
it's
Parks
good.
and Rec,
It's good
Chris
stuff.
Pratt.
Fluctuates.
Yeah, I mean it's tough to stay in shape. I've never done it, so
It's tough to get in shape.
yeah, I am a shape.
All right. I got 2 picks here. I'm scrambling. I'm having a somewhat of a breakdown, but I'll get through it.
Serious stuff.
One of my picks is going to be for Griffin, so I'll save that one for a second. So I wanted to kind of shoehorn this media. I'll take the Order of the Phoenix. I think it moves past the 5th movie, even when Sirius dies at the end. Spoiler, hopefully people are caught up on Harry Potter. I still think that the people fighting the Death Eaters in 6 and 7, that's still considered the Order of the Phoenix, and that just kind of grows as the kids get older. I wanted to pick Death Eaters because I think that's a really cool name, but I don't really, they're all kind of just like a bunch of, I don't really think that they're like that compelling villains aside from Voldemort himself. The other ones are just kind of like whatever. So yeah, Order of the Phoenix. I get Harry. I obviously get Ron and Hermione, and then I get all the other people whose name I'm going to forget. I'm not going to remember all of them. So yeah, I'll take the Order of the Phoenix.
Yeah, this is a good pick. I thought about the Harry Potter universe, didn't go with anything from there, but this is probably the best choice to make. Like you said, the villains are like tempting, but they're not like, there's not too many notable characters other than Bellatrix and Voldemort. So the order makes the most sense. I guess you also could have gone with Dumbledore's army, but that's really just like the kid version of Order of the Phoenix. So
Yeah.
good pick.
I kind of expected like a Quidditch team to show up on one of these.
That was going to be my second choice, was the Quidditch team.
I'm probably the least Harry Potter guy here, I think. Like, I read all the books. I loved them growing up. I watched all the movies, but it hasn't stayed with me like it has with a lot of people in our friend group. But I get this, like, in terms of the book, like, the Order of the Phoenix is a very compelling organization. I guess we could call it a team. But yeah, no, like, it is. It's, if you're going to pick something from Harry Potter that's not a Quidditch team, this makes the most sense.
See, I would differ on that a little bit. That last point you made there. There's another team from the Harry Potter universe that you guys are not mentioning, and I'm not going to pick them. So it's up to you if I say who they are or not.
Go for it.
The Founders.
They're not a
the Big
team.
Four?
It's the Founders. They're
They're
like
not a team.
everything's. They are a team. They are a
We're
team, and they have a
getting-
betrayal from within.
We're getting
But they are
real
very
loose
much a
with the
team. They
term
found that
team.
school together.
That doesn't mean we're not a team. We found this podcast.
We are
we're not
objectively a team.
We are, unfortunately.
I actually
a
think
team.
in our description it might refer to us as the List Night team. We're not fictional though, so we can't come up on this. Unfortunately, God, I hate it, but we are real. No, this is a good pick. I'm kind of surprised that Andrew was not the one to make a Harry Potter pick. I don't think there's any surprise that that's how I feel. It's a good one. It's a good one. I'm looking forward to what your next pick is, though, because I really appreciate when somebody leads off a pick with this next one's for Griffin.
Yeah.
Like, what were you guys doing when I was consuming media as a kid? You had friends. That's what it was. You had friends.
Andrew made the points. You've managed to somehow know everything about every single piece of media that exists. Like the stuff that Thomas says, I think you might be the only other person on planet Earth that knows some of those picks. Like I didn't even heard about
I'm
some of them
autistic.
before.
You've become an expert in wasting time on stuff that's not going to make you money.
To be fair, Modai, like Gargoyles aired from like 94 to 97. So when it was like actually airing, I was like 1 to 3 years old. So like I saw it later on.
I was
like,
2 to 4.
I'm saying the same thing. Like it's not like
Sure.
it's not like we were in like 5th grade and Modai's missing out on these hot new shows. Like they were reruns.
Well, the Gargoyles,
I
I've
think
actually.
Modi was probably like playing sports or like, I mean, Thomas, you had friends, so I don't know how you accomplished all this.
I had
But, you know,
Android.
I didn't have a lot of kids in my neighborhood. I don't know what I was doing.
Well,
you
no,
also
and
didn't
the
have
Gargoyles,
cable, so I don't know how you got around to half the shows anyway.
I started downloading things
Porn.
on Kazaa and on LimeWire when I was like 6. I got
That'll do
really into the internet at a really early age, which so many negative ramifications and repercussions have occurred in my life because of that, because I have become the internet.
It's all making sense now.
Anyways, a good pick, Matt. This next pick is
It is a good pick. It is a good pick. I'm glad you're taking the Thomas strategy of when you don't get enough attention, just say you did a good job. Honestly, very Trumpian of you.
Well, it's really
That's
just a
cool.
way to move on.
Yeah.
Just letting the audience know that was in fact a good pick. This next one is also a good pick. It's just half of the people on List Night haven't played it. It's Team Sora in Kingdom Hearts. It's not actually their name, but you get Sora, you get Donald, you get Goofy, which you guys know who those two are. Again, I'm sticking to Kingdom Hearts 1. All that you get him beating Ansem at the end. What's so funny?
You guys know who they are about
Donald and Goofy.
Goofy and Donald.
Wait,
yeah, I think they know who Goofy and Donald are.
Yeah. Can
Never
you give
met
us
him.
last names?
Yeah, more specific.
The Duck?
Donald Duck and what? Goofy, does he even have a last name?
I think he does, actually.
I think he does.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
But anyways, yeah, I get Sora, I get Donald, I get Goofy, who again, people do know who those two are. They win at the end. They defeat Ansem. They team up with Mickey. They travel to a bunch of really cool universes, a bunch of cool worlds, and you get a key that also is in form of a blade. So it's a really good pick for people that have played the game.
Thomas looked up Goofy's last name. What is it?
Yeah, I don't want to get like too off topic, but his full name is GG, the letters GG, Goof. His aliases are Dippy Dog with a W, George G Geef, Goofus D Dog, Goofy G Goof, and Super
Goofus?
Goof.
I like Goofus a lot.
D Dog.
If somebody in my life called me Goofus, I'd kill myself.
So essentially, Goofy is a nickname for his last name being Goof.
So Max, his son's name is Max Goofy?
Yeah.
So he's like ultimate Goofy? This is basically what his name is? Full
Well,
Goofy?
His son's name is
Turned up to
Max Goof.
Yeah,
Max
okay.
Goof.
Max Goof. I guess that is a pun a little bit. Yeah,
Well,
I don't even know if a pun.
His
Wordplay.
grandfather is Captain
Don't care.
Beard.
That's
Great.
a cool name. That's a cool name.
Fantastic. Look, Modai, to circle back to your actual pick and not the Goofy family genealogy, it's a great pick. It's a great team. Here's the thing that you didn't mention. It's probably because you were trying to breeze through the parts that Andrew and Thomas don't connect with. This team has it's just an incredibly deep bench because you have, Hercules and you have Final Fantasy characters and you have Ariel and you have all of their various friends and
Tarzan.
Mulan. Any Disney character is technically on the bench of this team. You pull him in and you push him out whenever you want him.
That's a good point. I honestly didn't think about that when I made this my pick. So thank you for making it even better pick.
Yeah, it's a good team. It's the most Disney. It's very Japanese Disney is really what this team is.
Yeah.
Does that mean he gets the gargoyles because they're Disney owned?
So they're not in the games, but I wish they were.
So do
Because
I get
would
another
love
pick?
with the Kingdom Hearts team to visit a futuristic New York City that has a castle in it. Well,
They go to Sam.
I think we can go ahead and say that yes, they could because they can travel the entire multiverse. Technically, the Avengers are on your team.
That's true. They go to San Francisco. So with Big Hero 6, San Francisco.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like the gays or like Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi's on that team. Oh shit.
I was not
She's
coming
real.
there.
Nancy Pelosi's a real person, but the fictional version of her is part of the Kingdom Hearts team.
Do you think Andrew keeps cutting out when we get close to his picks because he doesn't have a good one?
Because I don't have a what?
A good one?
Yeah.
A good pick?
I thought he was going to fight back. No, he agreed.
No, I honestly, like I thought I had like an endless amount, but having done 2 parts of this episode now and on my
All right, well, just you have
No, you're good. Yeah. No, you're good. Thank you.
we cut Modai long. We talked about Goofy for 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Fucking Christ, what a time to lose him.
He's scared.
Man.
You're
scared.
right, mic drop. He's
You're right.
scared.
I'm out.
What if we left and he just came back and did this by himself?
God.
The defeat.
Andrew, I don't know
Make
if
it
it
quick.
appeared this way to you,
Make it quick.
but you go, you're right, and immediately it cuts out. Just incredible timing, incredible theater.
Make
I don't
your
know
pick
what's
now
happening
before
with
you
my
lose
computer.
it.
It almost feels like you're doing this intentionally because it keeps happening at funny
I
times.
promise you I'm not.
If he cuts out again, I get his pick.
Yeah. That's fine. Okay, my last pick is actually like this is like old school list night where I'm just kind of farming for votes here because I'm not even the biggest fan of this pick or like this media franchise, but I'm going to take the Dylan High Panthers from Friday Night Lights. I don't have much to say. I've watched the first I think 2 seasons and I remember enjoying them, but I really don't have much to go into detail about the team itself. This is really just to get people to like me.
So you're talking the show.
Yeah.
Not the
The show.
movie.
The show.
Okay. Never watched. I think I've seen episodes of the show.
The
Didn't watch
movie's
it.
based on a real team.
Yeah, but
Right?
isn't
And then the show is based on the movie, which is based on a real team.
No,
No.
the show is not based on
The
a real
show
team.
is fictional.
Yeah.
yeah
The show's
the
fictional.
show they just took the name and made it a show.
Didn't they
Well,
come out at like
it's-
the same time?
It's Permian Panthers is the name of the real team in Texas from Friday Night Lights.
Yes, you're right. That's yes.
And then it's
yes.
Dylan Panthers in the show, which is again fictional.
Thank you, Moda. You're right. You're
Patrick Mahomes played football in Texas. I know that.
right. I mean,
Yes,
in
good
terms
job.
of
He's
like,
fictional.
I feel like this isn't the best football team you could pick, but I understand you're doing it for the fans.
Yeah.
People love this show.
We've been getting letters with people saying, why don't you guys talk about Friday Night Lights more?
Please pick the Dylan High Panthers.
And I'm understanding why we don't, because there seems to be a lack of understanding of the show and the movie and the real life events. Maybe Modai knows it all. I watched half of season 1 and tapped out pretty quickly. I'm not a Friday Night Lights guy. This could be a great pick, Andrew. I'm just not the guy to confirm
It
that.
could be,
for
and
you.
I don't know either. And to be honest with you, I'm pretty tapped out on this episode because I'm pissed at my recording for continuously cutting out. So pardon me. For
See,
that
what
being-
you want is for your recordings to break before the episode, so you're just like really heated the entire time, which happened to me a few weeks ago. Happening at the end is just depressing.
Yeah, I watched the show. They actually moved from Dylan to East Dylan after the second seasons, or maybe it's after the third season. So you're getting the first 3 seasons version, which includes Jason Street, who ends up becoming paralyzed in the first episode. So that's a tough look. But you do get the backup Matt Saracen and then Riggins, which is everybody's favorite, obviously.
Yeah, everyone loves Riggins. That's true. That's Gambit. That's
Correct.
he's another.
Yeah.
That's John Carter.
Well, John Carter. God,
I
what a
love John
show.
Carter. Is it John Carter also on your Kingdom Hearts team? That's a Disney movie.
It's a Disney movie.
Modai, I really
What is
appreciate
that?
you assisting me in fighting for my pick. So thank you.
Sure.
I
yeah,
do feel
sure.
like if this was a fictional football team pick, this would be like the last pick of the draft when we're all out of fictional football teams. But like I get it. It's for the fans that we don't have. So yeah, good pick. Not really.
What I remember
It's not a
most
good
from
pick.
this show is that they would like. I want to say it's the show. They'd be like winning games, and then Like you'd see the little bit of the game, they'd be playing well, and then it would basically cut to the end of the game, and somehow it would be like really, really wildly close, and it wouldn't make any sense how the game was so wildly close to the fact that it had to like end on a Hail Mary, and Saracen would have to like throw some stupid ass pass to win the game or to even keep them in the game or something like that. I'm like, this is not how football is played, but maybe in East Texas, this is absolutely how football is played. Maybe it's just a more exciting, more fictional place. Yeah, I'll say good pick because it's for the fans.
Texas forever.
I'm not gonna
Sure.
do this, and
Texas
I'm
sometimes.
sorry. I'm gonna bring it up, and I'm sorry. This is your pick, Griffin. I feel like you should go in the Varsity Blues football team. That would have been more fun.
Yeah,
It's
I
not my
love the
pick.
movie too.
yeah.
Good. My pick, because I'm just gonna sandwich it with the Ninja Turtles because this team is pretty much on the same level as them. And they were kind of rivals. They actually hate pizza. They make it a thing. Instead of cowabunga, they say jawsome. Same level
Sharks.
of success. It is the Street Sharks. Yes.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
It's the Street Sharks.
Dude, you love the
again.
90s.
I love
This
the
is a very
90s.
Well, I think we all
nostalgic
do.
I don't remember this ever being on TV. I just remember renting it at Blockbuster. But yeah, I was reading today. They love hot dogs, hamburgers, and fries, and they hate pizza. It's like the
It's
weirdest.
very targeted.
Weirdest
That's
thing.
incredibly targeted
100
content.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Street Sharks, great job.
I guess that's just like a jab at the Ninja Turtles, but that is like a tough thing to do when you're trying to get kids to be a fan of your franchise, to be like, we hate pizza. Like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
going to turn some people off, you would think.
I mean, at least they still committed to like unhealthy foods. They weren't like the Street Sharks. They love carrots and celery. Like that show would not have made it past episode 1. They would have canceled it as a pilot
Yeah.
I feel
think,
like VeggieTales was pretty successful.
because they have their built-in Christian
I was gonna say, they
audience.
have
If
the Black
VeggieTales
Church.
didn't have the religious parents putting it on for their kids,
Yeah.
would anyone watch it?
You saying Street Sharks aren't religious?
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, I assume there's a Jesus-like figure in the Street Sharks mythos. He's stuck in a cave, or he's stuck in like an underwater cave for 3 days. Ariel's there. It's all very
Close enough.
underwater.
I did have some like toys action figure things of Street Sharks that were awesome. So I don't really recall like how well they work together as a team. Probably well. I don't know, but I like it. You have a very nostalgic pick.
They're 4 brothers. They gotta work well together, right?
No, absolutely not. I know a lot of brothers that absolutely hate each other.
4 brothers in an animated TV show for kids. They gotta work well together, right?
But they also hated pizza. So.
Yeah, but I mean, like, also, like, Leonardo and Raphael are also part of 4 brothers, and they had a ton of beef.
Cancer of the team.
Yeah, Leonardo, cancer of the team. You're right. Yeah, Street Sharks, good pick. Definitely kind of like Beetleborgs and Power Rangers. And I know nobody said Beetleborgs, but I'm going to take that one off the board for future episodes. They're very clearly the B side of the merchandising that was happening in the 90s. But I think people, kind of remember them with rose tinted goggles, and people like them. So they're no gargoyles, but they're fun. They're fun
They're
guys having a
not.
fun time.
Is
They're
rose
not.
tinted goggles the expression? I thought it was rose colored glasses.
Rose colored glasses and rose tinted goggles are both the two that I've seen.
Okay.
I don't know if rose tinted goggles is more like from certain like internet communities or whatever, but it is one that people use. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. My last pick. I'm glad you guys didn't get to this. I should have known you weren't going to get to this. When you started making sports picks, I was afraid you were going to get to this. It's the East High Wildcats from High School Musical. It's Troy Bolton and the boys. As the #1 High School Musical guy on the List Night podcast, I've been waiting 9 previous picks to get to this one. The teamwork out of this world. They support their friends in their dreams. You want to be a chef? You want to be a music star? You want to bang the captain, the cheerleaders, or the weird new girl? You go and do that as long as you show up for the game. The only criticism, and I'm going to get ahead of this criticism because I know it's going to come up. And actually, it's probably not going to come up because you guys don't know the mythos of High School Musical the way that I do. So I'm going to pretend like you know this. Their best player is 5'8", which you would think, how is this high school basketball team thriving with a best player who's vital to the team who is 5'8" and is better at musicals than he is at basketball? I will tell you, it is because New Mexico, where this team is located, is generally ranked between 40th in high school basketball across the nation. They're one of the worst states in the United States for high school basketball, which is the only way you can get away with having a dude smaller than Andrew be your highly successful Steve Nash character. But great team, very attractive team. if that's what you're into, you know?
Grinder friendly.
I don't like how
I
you said
am-
smaller than Andrew, as if I'm like the smallest dude in the world.
Also, 5'8", pretty fucking tall. This crossed my mind. If I did not have my 90s animated theme going on, I would have picked them earlier. For most of the reason, I don't know about New Mexico's basketball stats. I'm not a
I
fucking
looked this
nerd.
up. I looked it up.
But yeah, because it starts off rocky, but that team, you don't find a more supportive team. You can't. They're not out there. This
They
is
don't
great.
exist.
This is a better pick than your other ones. And it's weird that your pick is all villains.
You have the East High Wildcats as villains?
Truly.
To
Yeah,
whom?
apparently you do. Apparently to the other New Mexico
So it
teams.
was all villains. And then I was like, I don't think there are villains in this movie. Like, you don't learn anything about the
I
team
mean,
they play against.
at
You know
first,
nothing about who they play against.
At first, they're villains towards Troy's musical traits.
Sure, until they support him wholeheartedly and just with all of the love in the world.
Only like Disney can.
So you're like villain, the most wholesome team in the universe.
Drama kids. Villain, drama kid.
Griffin, when you said that New Mexico is ranked 45th to 50th in, and I thought you were going to say in height, like they're just like a short state.
They might be.
They're
They
short
could
state.
be. I can't imagine the desert, growing up in the desert, is good for childhood development.
You don't want
Also-
to be close to the sun. Stay low.
I know you got like beef against short people, Griffin, but I feel like
I feel
like there's been plenty of high school basketball teams that could be very successful with a 5'8" kid leading the team. Like, absolutely.
As their best player?
Yeah, as a point guard or
Yes.
something.
I'm fine with the point guard part of it all. If your point guard's 5'8", fine. But if you're not throwing lobs in high school, I'm not going to say a 7-footer because whatever, even though kids today are fucking huge. If you're throwing, you got to be like, have a 6'5" kid who can dunk or something like that. Even Magruder had that.
So, are you saying Muggsy wasn't the best player on his high school team?
He probably was. And Muggsy is maybe the greatest athletic freak that has ever lived. So that's not a good response.
What about
Spud
Nate
Webb?
Robinson?
Nate Robinson's nowhere near as good as Muggsy was. Muggsy had
Oh, shit.
all-star selections.
Muggsy's from
You're
Baltimore?
making
I
our
didn't know
point that short people are good. Okay, that's a good pick.
My only comment on this pick is that I like how you're giving me shit for defending my Team Ash pick, and then you had to defend your High School Musical pick by looking up the stats of New Mexico basketball to defend that fact that a 5'8" person could be their best player. And yet I got crap for just saying that I get the evolutions and that the OG starters were in fact on a team.
It's not real crap though. It's just the whole like, oh, I want it's like I want more wishes kind of thing, which we make fun of on this show all the time. It's when you say I get all their evolutions too, you're the little kid like bullying their younger cousin when they want all of the best Pokemon cards.
To be
It's
honest,
a good pick.
He might
To be
have
honest-
still been the best, but Muggsy did play with 3 other future NBA players on his high school team. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't think the East High Wildcats had any future NBA players.
Yeah, because they all were like, I'm going to go cook. I'm going to go sing. Make no money.
Right. They chose the far less profitable professions because the one that would have made them money, they weren't very good at.
they didn't want it.
Modi, you had a clapback on the to be honest.
Well, no, it wasn't a clapback. It was really just like I was looking at my background of the Pokemon and I saw Charizard on there, and then I wanted to make it be known that I also got Charizard. That really is how that came about. Me saying the evolutions was me seeing
That's fine.
Charizard
That's fair.
and saying, "Yeah, I want that. I want that."
I think it was more about the
Yeah.
it was more about the delivery. It's like, and I also get this, and I also get this. It felt a little bit like
I get Ash's mom, and I get Ash's mom's Mr. Mime, aka
Mr. Mime.
Ash's dad.
it felt a little bit like playing horse as a kid, and you miss it, and then you try to pretend like that was part of the shot. Like
Oh, it's
if you first miss it,
Yeah.
then you get the rebound,
It's
and then
classic.
you
Oh,
Yeah.
off the backboard, and then you dribble under the legs, and you go back for it. Oh, and then you have to go back for it a second
Yeah,
time. You
that's-
got to go off the glass.
That's classic. That's just good stuff.
Hey, Modai, I know you've mentioned before that people just get you Funko Pops now, like because they think it's like your thing. I'm going to start getting you the Gargoyle ones because they do have the Gargoyle characters from the show, the hit 90s show Gargoyles.
It'll
Are
make
these
the
people
background.
getting you Funko Pops? People in your personal life, or are they fans of the Jedi Modi brand?
I have an Amazon wish list. This is going into conversation we don't need to have, but people are like, "How can I thank you?" And like, "Can I tip you?" And I'm like, "I don't want your money." So I made this list for people.
Give them my Venmo. Don't give them your Funko Pop Amazon wish list. Give them my Venmo.
I'm probably gonna keep doing what I'm doing, but
All right, whatever. It's pretty disrespectful. Let's do our recaps. Modi, we start with you.
Yeah. So I am pulling up my list here because I forgot already. I got I got the Avengers. I got the OG Pokemon starters. I got Mighty Ducks D2. I got the Order of the Phoenix and Team Sora in Kingdom Hearts. And then I also got Charizard, just to make sure people know that.
We know. Thank you so much. You've clarified innumerable times. Andrew.
Okay, anyway, I have the Smash Bros roster. I have the Sandlot team. I got the Street Legends from the NBA Street franchise. I have the Guardians of the Galaxy, and I have the Dylan High Panthers from Friday Night Lights.
It's tough, Tom.
I have a qualm because I can find the Mighty Ducks from D2 Funko Pops, but not the animated Mighty Ducks Funko Pops.
You have a qualm?
Anyway, I have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I have the Thundercats. I have the aforementioned animated Mighty Ducks team. I have the Gargoyles, and I have Street Sharks.
You just used qualm and aforementions in like back-to-back sentences, and I genuinely have never been prouder of you. This is incredible. All right, I had.
Smart.
He is wicked smart, and we're going to be in our hometowns forever, and he's going to get out. That's a great team. Shit. Fucking, that would have been a good one. Damn it. All right.
That's a group of
Team
friends.
Goodwill Hunting.
Team Goodwill Hunting, because we also get Robin Williams.
Yeah, that's true.
No.
Okay,
Like,
all right,
I would
whatever.
push back.
Whatever.
Dead
So
Poet,
hard.
I just thought a Dead Poet Society also would have been a good team.
Oh, so great.
No.
Yeah. Also a pretty cool name for a team. I'm going to give my recap, but we can do these all day. Now I'm thinking of so many I didn't think of. They'd be great for my villainous team. I had Team Rocket, the Galactic Empire, the Ginyu Force, the Forsaken from the Wheel of Time, and the East High Wildcats. We're going to get out of here before Andrew actually throws his computer out the window. But if you're still here and you're still listening, first off, why? Second off, make sure you follow us on all of our different social media platforms. Follow us on whatever your preferred listening or watching platform is. And if you haven't already done so, rate and review and share us with a friend so that they can see the absolute chaos of this dumbass show. And go and like all of our TikToks and our Instagrams and our YouTube shorts. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. See you next time.